Welcome everybody to my trailer analysis of the latest gameplay video released by Rockstar for Red Dead Redemption 2. Anyone that knows me or follows this channel knows that Red Dead Redemption is one of my favourite games of all time, so I'm eagerly anticipating this. I've been waiting for a gameplay video like this for a while, and it's finally here, and boy is it impressive. I've been trying not to jump on the hype train with this game. Hype is bad for games in the long run, I think, but it's mighty hard, Rockstar, mighty hard. So let's go through this together and see what we can see, pick apart some details. Just to let you know, I've turned the sound off just to avoid any copyright strikes. But let's go. So the trailer begins with Arthur Morgan, our character, in prison. This looks like a story mission to me. It starts off probably quite early in the game. He's in prison, going to be hanged, and his gang busts him out with some good old dynamite. So I'd say this is almost certainly a story mission. You coming or what? They're pretty tight knit gang. Clearly, they try not to leave anyone behind. Here, the train. I really like this. Just a lot more detailed than the train in the first Red Dead. In the first Red Dead, you could kind of train hop and kind of bother the driver. But in this one, later on in the trailer, we see you could like go inside, rob passengers. It looks like it's a lot more interactive. And of course, I'm sure you'll be able to tie people up and leave them on the tracks, as you could in the first one. So here, look, like just how dense the world is, and even the wilds with animals, and here with the towns. This looks like quite a small town, compared to some of them, and yet it just looks so lived in. These are not ghost towns; they're very densely populated. You have people just going about their lives. We have people up on the balcony. You've got a kid here, which quite surprised me seeing a child. You rarely see children in video games, especially violent ones, and as far as I'm aware, there's never been kids featured in any Rockstar games. But yeah, this appears to be a child NPC. One assumes you cannot just shoot him. I hope not. But again, you have the kid playing, you have a man and a woman hugging each other. People just going about their lives. It really feels like they've gone out their way to make this world seem lived in. And look at that, just beautiful, the lighting. And, as much as I like towns and stuff, just getting out into the wild, look at that. Oh, yeah, just so open, and the variety of the landscapes. You've got mountains and snow here. This looks, we've got a kind of forest area down there, kind of regular grassland here. I mean, it just looks, I look at that and I just want to go off exploring, just magnificent. And then here we are. Look at this detail I noticed the first time I watched it. Punch through the window, lands in a mud puddle, and look at how the mud clings to his clothes as he goes. That really looks kind of like it's real time. It's not just they've gone make the outfit muddy. It really looks like it's reacting to the environment. So I guess when it's raining, your clothes will become sodden. With muddy, they'll get flecks of mud on. Yeah, I mean, just another great attention to detail there. And here, attracting a lot of attention from people who have seen this video. Snow. We saw some snow in Grand Theft Auto 5 in the prologue mission, but never again. Whereas it looks like there are going to be snowy regions in this map. And just look how the horses are tracking snow behind them. I love this lamp, the way it's kind of illuminating light out there. Just so atmospheric. And yeah, just going through together. I wonder if that's John Marston, that guy. And then here we get an action shot. We get a look at the Deadeye feature. I would say, I don't know how the Deadeye's changed exactly, but the way we see it here, he doesn't paint the targets like you could do with the final Deadeye upgrade in Red Dead Redemption. It kind of goes slow motion and you just track the beam over your enemies. So I wonder if this is an early version of Deadeye, and maybe you'll unlock the ability to paint targets later on. And also, I just want to point attention to, I love the animation for cocking the gun, reloading, it looks like it's not just one stock reloading animation for all weapons. It looks like they've really paid attention to how you would reload and fire weapons in real life. And then here we see a nice action shot of the gang. Arthur Morgan here. We don't know much about these gang members. I am pleased to see this female gang leader, gang member. I feel like Rockstar, there haven't been many kind of strong women in Rockstar games. You know, they're kind of about, but you don't tend to see them get to, you know, be a badass or anything. And we've seen this woman a few times in previous Red Dead trailers. So it looks like she's going to be, you know, a strong, cool female character who can hold her own, who isn't there for comic relief or, you know, to be a bitch to the main character. You know, I'm glad we're seeing that from Rockstar, because I think it'd be fair to say women haven't been perfectly represented by them in the past. And here we have, you know, the gangs, the hideouts where they hide away from the law. And look at that lighting and the animals. And yeah, just the density of the map. Just look at that. Gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. Look at it. The animation on the animals, the horses, look at a lizard. The animation on the horses just looks incredible. It was great in Red Dead, but it looks even better now. And just the way the animals are moving. I mean, surely they didn't motion capture a lizard, but you know, just look how good they look. Cattle there. I hope farming returns. And here we're seeing a larger city. Could this be Blackwater? There is a theatre there. I don't think that theatre was in Blackwater in Red Dead Redemption, but who knows? But you know, you can see the city here is denser. We had, you just saw there, it looked like an army veteran, maybe a Civil War veteran perhaps. So a bit of history there. And I really like this. Scientist, it seems, doing experiments with electricity, it looks like. So obviously electricity was beginning to be understood better during this period of history, and I hope that, you know, we see a bit of electricity kind of explored in this game. You know, maybe we'll get a few gadgets or something that are a bit janky but run with electricity. Oh, she sassed us there. And again, just look at it. It just looks, the world looks so lived in and just so realistic. And here we get a nice shot of our protagonist, Arthur Morgan. And I got to say, you know, John Marston from the first game was one of my favourite video game characters of all time. I thought he was great. And, you know, I was thinking like, oh, can this Arthur Morgan ever, you know, be as good as John Marston? And I don't know if he'll be as good, but he's really warming on me recently. I like his style. I feel like Rockstar has made him this character where you can add your own personality to him. Obviously, this isn't an RPG or anything. He is his own character. But as you see later in the trailer, it seems like you'll get to choose whether Arthur Morgan is more of a bad guy or a good guy, depending on your playstyle, which you could do to an extent with John Marston, but I feel like they're pushing that a bit more with Arthur Morgan. Again, Dutch van der Linde, we just saw there, Dutch, who was the leader of the gang and the antagonist of Red Dead Redemption, and there I believe is John Marston. So I'm really glad to see he's returning for this game. I haven't heard it confirmed yet, but I really hope his voice actor returns as well. And so there, the gang escaping. And it looks like, you know, you're going to have to go from town to town, constantly on the move, setting up camps, and, you know, helping your gang survive and prosper. And it looks like you'll really get to know the gang members as well. And I'm sure there'll be members who we really like and others we love to hate, and, you know, favourites and stuff. And I hope there's loads of great banter between them and stuff. So here we go, a kind of convoy, searching for a new place to stay for a while, unloading camp. And it seems like this will be a gameplay feature. You know, you can really help your camp thrive by hunting and doing missions and putting money into it and such. Here, obviously, you'll be able to take time out, enjoy some mini games like poker here. I really hope Liar's Dice return. I really hope that happens. And I think that would be great to get to know the characters. You can converse with them and hear their stories and get to know their backgrounds. And I'm sure they'll have missions for you to undertake and such. And yeah, I really like that idea. Go with what looks like a guitar here. Hopefully we'll get to play a few cowboy chords on that. And then here this woman converses with us. And this doesn't look like a cutscene or anything. It just looks like how NPCs will comment on you and your actions and your past events quite organically. And as you see later, you can respond positively or negatively to that. Here we have some hunting. So got a deer. It looks way more involved than the hunting previously shown. That we had in Red Dead Redemption. You know, you don't just skin it and take the carcass. You have to take the entire animal back to where you want to sell it or cook it. Here we have a couple of drinks in the saloon. So yeah, it looks like we'll be able to get drunk again. Too drunk to ride our horses. Conversing with our gang. That's a nice leather jacket. I hope we can wear that. And here we can see you can walk beside your horse. Now, some people have said, why would you ever bother doing that? Surely you'd be in the saddle the whole time. In real life, the reason people often will lead their horses is through uncertain terrain where it wouldn't be safe for the horse or the rider to be mounted. So it's possible that in marshlands or something, you'll have to get off your horse and guide it through. And also they've spoken about how you'll have to forge a relationship with your horse, and the stronger your relationship, the better your horse will become. So maybe walking your horse is part of that if they're still too skittish to be ridden. And it looks like this is another mission we're seeing. I mean, just look, this game just looks gorgeous. They're, interacting with NPCs. You can choose whether you want to be a good guy, kind of Clint Eastwood, or if you want to be a scoundrel. You can intimidate witnesses like in the first Red Dead to get them to keep their mouths shut if they see you do something illegal. Lots of fist fighting still. It looks like the combat is really better than ever. It's always been a bit janky, I felt, the hand-to-hand combat in GTA games. And here we see, it's talking about characters interacting with one another. Here we see Arthur Morgan freeing a guy from a bear trap. I wonder if this is a specific mission or whether this is just a kind of organic interaction. You know how in the first game there were random encounters that could sometimes lead to missions and stuff, but they weren't necessarily pinpointed to you. I wonder if this is something like that. And so here we have a woman accusing you of killing her cousin. And I wonder how that will change, whether, if you play as a good guy, NPCs will be more gracious to you, whereas if you're a bad guy, they'll be hostile. It'll be interesting to see how different playthroughs, show people interacting with you differently. Here we see some more hand-to-hand combat, and it really, as I said, it looks great. Again, love the reloading animation here. Really great. Just the gunplay just looks tighter than ever. It's always been good in Rockstar games, but it just looks like it's as tight as can be at this point. Brushing down his horse, I hope we get to do that. Help, give you a stronger bond with your horse. I like the idea of that. And we really see the horse types look to be different. There are different kind of models of horses. They're not all the same. And as you can see, you can put your hunting trophy on your horse to sell or whatever, and you can store stuff in your horse's pouches. Here we see some combat on horse, and I love the way, if you notice, the way when he shoots these guys as they fall, like in the first game, if their foot or something gets tangled in the stirrup, they get dragged or their horse will like buck them off. I think that's so cool. And here we have him taming a horse. Some wildlife here, moose, an alligator, a crocodile. That's new to the series. I just love how much wildlife. I loved that in the first Red Dead, even though that was a while ago now. I feel like they did a great job of having wildlife densely populated, and it looks like it's even more the case this time. And here it seems you'll be able to track animals as well. You don't just shoot them on sight. And then here we see Arthur returning with his kill, and it looks like you'll be able to sell its pelt and such at stores to earn cash. I'm sure there'll also be a certain element of crafting where maybe you can use pelts and stuff to make clothes, or new types of weapons or something. But yeah, and then we get to see in here inside this shop, it just looks so detailed. And here we see a gunsmith. Now, this might be a bit of conjecture on my part, but I do wonder if at gunsmiths, whether you'll be able to customize your weapons more. In the original Red Dead, you just kind of bought a gun and that was it. You couldn't change anything about it. You couldn't customize it in any way. I wonder if in this game you'll be able to go into gunsmiths and alter your weapons, new stocks and handles, maybe change the aesthetics, change colours, have them engraved. If you'll be able to customize them, so say they're more accurate or more firepower, just things like that, to make them more useful for your gameplay style. Kind of like how you could in Grand Theft Auto 5. You could go in, you could buy a gun, and then you could choose to, put a silencer on, extended stock, change the colour. I know guns were kind of more basic in this period of history and less open to customization, but it'd be great if you could just, slightly tweak them rather than just having stock guns that everyone uses. That would be a really cool feature, I think. And here we see a saloon somewhere after a long day of being an outlaw. You can get drunk. I wonder if you'll be able to visit prostitutes. You couldn't in the previous game because John Master was married and faithfully so. But I don't know, Arthur Morgan, maybe he's a bit more of a renegade in that sense. Who knows? And here we see a bloke with a camera. This looks like a mission, possibly a random encounter where an early camera here. I wonder if you're going to have to kind of take beautiful pictures that will obviously be in black and white and such for this guy, a bit like collecting flowers in the first Red Dead. Oh, I do hope you can collect that. Look at the lighting. Oh, see here, this is kind of what made me wonder about the gunsmith. Is you can see his gun has some kind of gold plating on it, and there's quite a lot of detail to it. It's not just a standard gun. He's cleaning it and such. So I wonder if there will be more interactivity with your weapons. And here, look at this. First of all, the scenery. I mean, I really hope you can climb up these mountains and stuff. I mean, just look at that prairie. It's just gorgeous. But also, just the way the horse is moving as well. The animation is just, look at that. And then just goes into a canter. That's that makes, the original Red Dead had great horse physics and stuff, but it's just another level this time. And here we are with our gang. I wonder if you'll be able to, I mean, obviously you're going to be able to go out and explore on your own, but I wonder if you're planning on, getting into some trouble or something, I wonder if you'll be able to get your gang to come with you for backup. Maybe you'll be able to just get one other gang member to come with you, or all of them to saddle up and go into town with you to help you out. That would be an interesting feature. And here we have, as I said, the inside of the train. It just looks more detailed. There are more passengers. It looks like there's a robbery going on here. It's hard to say whether this is part of the story or whether this is something you could do at any point. It looks more story to me, I'd say. But again, interesting stuff, no less. And here, a cool reveal, fishing. First time ever in the series, you'll be able to fish. You couldn't even fish in any of the Grand Theft Autos, I don't think. So it just makes sense, with this big open world and these lakes and stuff. I mean, it's just part of the hunting as well. Fishing is part of hunting, and I don't fish in real life, but I do enjoy a good fishing mini game in a game. In Final Fantasy 15, I love doing the fishing, so I'm gonna really enjoy, just being out on a beautiful lake and reeling in some fish, I think, and then selling them for a profit. And then again, look at this mud, the way the footprints go in it, and just everything. I know I'm going on about it, but everything about this game just looks gorgeous. The bullet streaks here, it looks like Arthur's wearing a different outfit here. Just the way everyone's reacting, and we get to see some Deadeye here. And you can see the way he fired that revolver there. He did that classic thing you see in Western films where they just kind of hit the hammer back with their left hand rather than cocking the gun each time and just firing off quick shots like that. I mean, it just looks great. What an excellent trailer. I really I was looking forward to it, but I mean, they really knocked it out of the park with that. And that was just trailer 1. I imagine there's at least 2 more trailers to come. Probably another in-depth gameplay one, and almost certainly one about the multiplayer aspect, which I'm very interested in. And October 26th, not long to go now, only a few months left. And again, it's available to pre-order. I try not to pre-order games, but goddamn, if ever there was a game I wanted to pre-order, it would be this one. And it's a stiff month for gaming. There's a lot of big games coming out later this year. You've got your Rise of the Tomb Raider, Battlefield 5, Spider-Man. There'll be Call of Duty. There's a lot of big games coming out this year. It's going to be a very broke time for me. But I'd say Red Dead is definitely the leader of the pack there. As I say, I don't mean to say that as in the other games are going to be bad. I'm sure many of them will be really good, but Red Dead so far is looking like Game of the Year material, to be honest. And yeah, I think it's ballsy of the other games not to delay themselves a bit to give Red Dead some breathing space. But it's going to be great for us gamers. And yeah, I mean, this game just looks like it's shaping up to be everything you'd want from a sequel to Red Dead Redemption, which, as I said, is one of my favourite games of all time. And when they announced a new Red Dead game that would be a direct sequel to Redemption, well, prequel actually, I was kind of skeptical because Red Dead Redemption just seemed like such a great self-contained story to me that I was kind of worried, like, oh, does it need a prequel or a sequel or anything? But I've got to say, this is really kind of quelling my fears. I think they know what they're doing, to be honest. And just before I go, I want to point out, it isn't said in this video, it says this video was captured entirely from in-game footage, which obviously is true, and it has since been announced that the footage this was captured on was a PlayStation 4 Pro, which I've got to say surprises me slightly because obviously it's coming to the Xbox One X as well. And the One X is more powerful than the PlayStation 4 Pro. So it kind of surprises me they haven't taken footage from that one, because I would imagine it just runs slightly better. But who knows, I mean, maybe the game does run a bit better on PlayStation or something, the way they coded it. I don't know. I'm sure it's going to look fantastic on either one. I would assume slightly better on the Xbox One X. But yeah, they said this was for the PlayStation 4 Pro. So you know, I think even if you're playing it on just a standard PlayStation or a standard Xbox, it's still going to be a gorgeous game. But if you like to have a bit more power, get some more frames per second and stuff, then it will look even better on your PlayStation Pro or Xbox One X. And it's still not been confirmed whether it's coming to PC. I would assume it is coming to PC, but I imagine that will come later. A bit like GTA 5, I imagine we'll get it first on consoles and then it'll come to PC. I would assume so. The original Red Dead didn't come to PC, but I think the main reason for that is because the code for that is apparently quite messed up, and it's surprising that it even runs on Xbox and PS3, which is why we've not seen a remaster of it or anything. So I think that's the main reason that never came to PC. I don't think it's that Rockstar doesn't want to release stuff on PC. It just makes sense. It makes them more money. So I wouldn't be surprised if eventually this one comes to PC. So there you go. There's my analysis of that. I hope I shared a few details with you that you didn't pick up on originally. And yeah, as I say, very much looking forward to this game. It really looks great. You know, this is the first Rockstar game built from the ground up for the current gen of consoles. I know we had GTA 5 released on PS4 and such, but you know, obviously the original GTA 5 was released on 360 and PS3. It was designed for those. Whereas this one is going to take maximum advantage of the power of the current gen consoles. So I think we can really expect to see some great stuff there. And yeah, I look forward eagerly to the next trailers, and I can't wait to get my hands on this game. I hope you enjoyed that. Please feel free to drop a like, share a comment. What do you think? Are you hyped? Are you excited? If you weren't excited before, has this got your attention? Are you going to be getting this day one? Let me know what you thought in the comments. And I do Tom's Nerd Corner, covers everything from games to film, television, books, all kind of good nerdy stuff. Anything I think you guys might find interesting, news, you know, video essays. So if you like that kind of thing, then please consider subscribing. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.